Hello, I'm Danny Thompson, President of the Maryland Economic Development Association, and on behalf of the Board of Directors, it's my pleasure to recognize the amazing work of our members. Economic development in Maryland continues to transform lives by creating opportunities, inspiring innovation, and enriching communities. Thank you, Miles and Stockbridge, for their ongoing support of MEDA and enabling us to recognize the great work of our members through these videos. I now invite you to enjoy this video highlighting this economic development initiative.
So the Calvert County Birding Trail came into existence because during the pandemic, we were seeing visitor counts at a couple of our outdoor attractions and parks skyrocket. So that was really exciting because, as everybody knows, people were finding the outdoors and finding new places to go. And being a lover of all things Calvert County, I was like, we have these other parks and these other attractions that people maybe don't know as much about. And what would be a way to get people to know that there are other places that are also outdoors? You can also go hiking. You can also see the water. I knew that there were birds, probably, at all these attractions and parks in Calvert County, but not being a naturalist, I didn't know what birds might be there. So I did know Gene from before. And so I contacted him and I gave him the idea and I said, are there different birds at these different places? And he said, yeah, of course you can see different birds based on which habitat they're in, and our parks have lots of different habitats. So that's sort of where it all started.
So with the Calvert Birding Trail, we were really interested in getting people at a lot of our lesser known parks. Some of our parks are highly used, mostly because they have great access to the water, or they're good spots to look for fossils. But those only include 2 of our parks. So visiting these different parks, you're going to experience vastly different habitats, from beach habitat and dunes to cypress swamps, which are very rare here in Maryland, forested woodlands. So we just really wanted to get people out there and kind of get people, exploring some of these more hidden parts of the parks in search of some of these birds.
Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum, we are a very large park on the Patterson. We have over 560 acres of wild spaces available to us. So we were initially just listed as one of the sites, one of the parks on the trail itself. But as we started getting closer to the start of the birding trail kind of kickoff online, Hillary wanted to do something special to launch this trail, and being the big open space that we are, we jumped in and offered the park as kind of an event space. So this was a really great opportunity for us to be able to bring people together and kind of safely get back into the public sphere a little bit more again, reintroduce people to all these different spaces that they may not have been as aware of during the pandemic. Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum, we saw some of our highest visitation numbers during the pandemic just because people were so interested in looking forward to different things to do safely outdoors.
There was no budget appropriated to this project, so we kind of had to be creative about how to do it. And it was really great, again, with our partnerships with the different organizations. Jefferson Patterson Park was able to print big signs. And so we shared those big signs with every location that's on the birding trail. And the actual trail is it's an online interactive map. Again, we worked with all the naturalists from all the different sites on what information people might want to know about each site. We had a logo created by our graphic designer, the county's graphic designer. And then there's a QR code in the middle of the logo, which it pulls up this map. So it was very low cost to everybody. Some of the best positives that we've seen after this trail has been created is an increase in visitorship in the various parks and attractions.
All these additional folks coming out to our sites. We've originally had nature programs, which can be found on calvertparks.org, where we host a variety of programs from preschool to teens all the way up to adults. But this has kind of created a nice gateway for folks that either don't want to join a full program with everybody or are looking for just easy ways, to get out of the house. We've been stuck in the house for so long and people want to get outside, but they still want a little structure. So by making this map, it's made it much more convenient for folks to get into birding and to kind of give them more of a goal when they're out hiking at some of their local parks.
As a result of the trail and of the kickoff event, we were able to build some connections with a lot of these different parks and sites along the trail that we didn't necessarily have established before the pandemic, or that maybe had lapsed a little bit during the pandemic as everybody was forced to move into kind of virtual meetings and we lost touch with some people. So it was really great to have people out back to the park again and rebuild those connections, start having those conversations.
And I think it's really kind of restored a lot of people's views of the parks too. They're kind of seeing these locations in a new light.
Miles of Stockbridge is proud to continue our partnership with MEDA and recognize the outstanding work of our economic development partners. To learn more about Miles of Stockbridge, please visit mslaw.com.